Guys, welcome to another episode of Food Beyond Its Nutrition. Well, guys, look at this deliciousness on a plate. This is roasted miso sea bass. Look at this, guys. This is nothing short of delectable. Well, guys, I have some fresh sea bass here, fresh sea bass that I've rinsed in cold water, patted dry. I've removed the skin. I think you get a better end product with the skin on it. And I've created a dry brine rub to rub onto the fish or to encase the fish. I've used kosher salt and I've used brown sugar. You can actually add other things to this like chili, you can add garlic, you can add a variety of herbs and spices. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to pack this all around the actual sea bass loins. And it needs to be packed really well. And once again, the sea bass has been rinsed, it's been scaled, and it's been dried. You don't need it to be wet, because what this curing process will do is draw moisture from, or draw water from out of the fish. It actually leaves it really moist. One of the things that I forgot to do, guys, and I left it in here, I forgot to put a layer of the actual dry brine rub on the base of the Pyrex dish, but I'll show you what I do. Hey, stuff happens. But I correct that and I'll show you when I correct it. But right now I'm just packing it all in, making sure all sides are done. Really important. See there, guys, I lift up the loins. I'm lifting up the loins to make sure that it does have some of the rub underneath. Now, again, I cannot stress how important it is that all areas of the fish are coated and packed with this rub. It makes for an even product. It really does. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second here. All right, you can see that it's already started working. It's already started, and that's what it looks like. It's all coated, but it's already started working. You can see it started to draw fluid. It started to draw liquid from the actual fish, and that's what we're looking for. We want it to draw out as much liquid as possible, leaving moisture and flavor. Well, guys, I'm going to cover this up and I'm going to refrigerate it for 24 hours. You can do from 8 to 24 hours. Now, let's see. Okay, guys, this is 24 hours later. And as you can see, it's turned the brine, the dry brine, into liquid. And it's really firmed the fish up quite a lot. It's firmed it up. It hasn't made it hard and brittle like jerky, but it's firmed it up. Now, don't be surprised, guys, if you don't actually utilize all of the brine. And I say utilize. Don't be surprised if it doesn't all sort of melt. If I left it for another 24 hours, I feel sure that would have melted. But that's okay. It's done what it's needed to do, and that has imparted flavor and removed a lot of liquid. Now I'm going to create a miso marinade. This is the second part of this dish, and it's a miso marinade. This is really nice. I mean, again, you can customize this the way in which you want to customize it. But it has mirin in it. I've also used sake. Now, guys, if you don't do alcohol, you can definitely leave this out, but it has sake in it. I also have red miso paste. You can use white, you can use yellow, and again, it has some brown sugar in it. Now, I'm going to actually whisk this up to get it to as smooth as possible. Not all miso will come up smooth. Sometimes you'll have little chunks of, I don't know, soy and or rice or what have you, based on what they made it with. But I'm going to mix this up, whisk this up, and get it as smooth as possible. Now, you want it to be like a pancake batter. It can't be too thin. Maybe a little thicker than a pancake batter. If it's too thick, which mine was, just add a splash of water. I added maybe about a tablespoon of water there and mixed it up, and that was absolutely perfect because I want to be able to coat the fish. I want this marinade to kind of cling to the fish. And so that's what we're going to do. Mix it on up. Now, guys, I had a wild hair here, and I decided I was going to add some chili powder, chili flakes. I was going for a tablespoon, but that was more like a tablespoon and a half. And like I said, you can add whatever you want to it. Ginger, cardamom. This is your world. You can, lemongrass. You can make it and flavor it any which way that you want. But I mixed that in really well. And here I have actually rinsed the brine. And you need to rinse the dry brine off of the fish completely. Rinse it well, and I mean really well, and then pat it dry. And guys, make sure you get all those crevices where the brine may be hanging out. You rinse it well, pat it dry, and then what we're going to do is we're going to actually put it into the marinade. Now, instead of pouring it over, I'm going to dip the actual loins into the marinade, and you just saw a Ziploc bag, and then I'm going to put them into a Ziploc bag. Right, just dip it really well. Make sure it's coated really well. And guys, I could have poured it over, as I said, but you got more control over what's going on here. So I'm dipping it in, and then I'm going to put it into the Ziploc bag. It's vitally important that you make sure that you get this marinade into all the nooks and crannies. It's about flavor, it's about taste, and it's also about making sure that everything is coated equally. Very, very important for the end product and for the cooking process. Look at that big pocket. I'm going to fill that with marinade. I'm going to literally fill that with marinade. So I'm going to get that all in there, and then get the last of it. Clean that bowl up. Scrape that bowl with that Chilean sea bass loin, and then I'm going to put that into the Ziploc bag. Now, guys, don't ask. I had a funny half hour with the Ziploc bag. I don't even know what I was thinking when I was trying to expel the air, and you need to expel all the air out of this. It helps with the marination process. But I don't know why I decided to do it that way. Tried to scrunch the bag down. I don't know what I was thinking. And then eventually it came to me. Wendy, come on, girl. Flip the bag over and do it this way. That's it. Flip the bag, fold it over, and expel the air that way. So I've expelled as much air as I can. And again, this helps with the marination process. And I'm going to actually put that in the fridge for about 12 hours. Hey guys, this is what it looks like 12 hours later. I have taken a little bit of the marinade off, not a lot. And I also decided to add some of my homemade chili oil. I am so in love with that stuff. I don't even know what to tell you. But I added some of my homemade chili oil, and it doesn't need any oil to cook. But I added some of that. And let's see, what else did I do here? Again, you can add whatever you want to the marinating process. This is your world. You can flavor it any thyme, oregano. You can add whatever you want. I'm going to actually cook this at 425 degrees in the oven for approximately 25 minutes. The loins were fairly big, and guys, after 25, this is what you got. Deliciousness on a plate. It has some charring. Look at that, some charring. Absolutely flavorful. It's moist. It's flaky. Guys, this is well worth all the steps that you take to get this. It's worth it. And I'm going to give it a moment of silence right here. I'm going to serve this roasted miso sea bass with one of my favorites, Singapore noodles. And guys, you can find this recipe and more at foodbeyonditsnutrition.com. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'll see you next time.